Hold on, ET. Hold on. Is there a universe where they swap lanes, put the Luna against the Tidehunter, because that crushes that lane, put the CK on the other side, right? Because CK doesn't really have to worry that much about the lane versus Lone Druid, and that way you win both lanes and then play super aggressively forward?
And I think you're making the right call here, because Kasane right now, he just has a stick. So I he absolutely, you don't buy stick when you're playing versus you Pudge Druid or whatever that lane is going to end up being. So I think you're right on the money here. I think he's going to make a little bit of a trip towards the top lane, and then, well, that's just sad. And Fear, well, the bear, hey buddy, does he get a blood grenade or is he not even worth it? Yeah, he gets one blood grenade, but 300 gold for Bryle.
What?
Well,
Bro. Well, that's a... If you ask me for a horror situation from the mid lane as I annihilate, it's one thing playing Pango into this incredible Queen of Pain. It's another thing playing into Dazzle, who gets to start with a Bracer, bro. Oh my god, that's gonna suck.
it's not it's not going to be easy. Thankfully, he is Earth Spirit. He can ignore the lane as much as he can. And then it's just going to be up to hopefully not getting too shut down by TSM supports, but even more skirmishes here.
Yeah, Kasane is going top. Yeah, boy. This is fun. I like to see this. This is cool.
No, you are absolutely right as well. It's a very smart call, because now you've got that lane. Talked about before, Jaeger's going to struggle a little bit. Just the physical damage coming through. You don't really care about the reduced damage reduction coming in from Anchor Smash. Eventually, if he wants to as well, you could just go for the actual Lucent Beam build, and then you just start nuking him down if Kasane doesn't want to play the traditional carry. But if he wants to, I mean, heck, he could just be the carry now. Tomato, you're my offlaner, you know? You've been replaced.
Sosby, you might not have heard about it, but there's a shuffle happening in the middle of the tournament. Tomato suddenly consigned into the offlane, but if there's ever a time when, as a carry player, I would not mind being consigned offlane, as if I'm playing CK with Phoenix behind me into this lane. Like, yeah, sure, Pudge can be annoying, but honestly, if there's no level 6 on the Pudge and no Fear on, slash Roots on the Bear, what am I really afraid of in this lane?
Yeah, it really is just going to be catching Tomato low on resources, and maybe that's where, you know, you got to shift that carry mindset a little bit. You know, you're not going to get all your regen just coming in from Whitemon. Might have to buy your own tangos, you know, something alien to these carry players, but at the same time, I think he'll be pretty happy. The real danger is before he hits level 4. Once you get level 4 and you've got 2 points up in the passive on CK, you can't really die.
First blood about to happen. Nushim get caught in the combo, but at the same time, Jaeger outplays them all. Gets the first blood onto the Tusk. Very well done to prevent TSM from claiming the first blood, give himself the best shot in this lane, and also get the experience bonus before anybody else. Nicely done by Jaeger.
No, and now, you know, gets to keep in this lane with, I think, a full wand and some of the Soaring components coming out on Courier. They do lose control of the large camp, which is a little bit sad, just because Immersion ended up dying first, but at the same time, you're pretty darn satisfied. Even though right now, Jenkins Whiteman.
Oh! Come on, Jenkins, you got this, fam. I am dispensing with the rule that people shouldn't be biased. I want a game 3, so let's go Fort Studios. Give me more Dota.
Oh, you root for the series. You root for the series.
Exactly. Unfortunately, though, ET, for us to get there, Fear needs some more last hits, man. He's 3 for 3 right now in the bottom lane, just unable to get the farm that we saw him accrue in the first game, which, if people don't remember, he broke a record on getting Radiance on Lone Druid. Doesn't seem like that's going to be happening in this game.
No, he is certainly under a lot more pressure, and oh god, I see the mid bar, and no, Bryle, you just walked him down.
ET, you assured me that you can't lose a lane as ET in the mid lane. Like, it's just not possible to lose a Spirit. That's what you said to me. What's happening?
Bryle's just the GOAT. 18 and 11, I mean, he's gotten to the point as well where he can get those range creeps for free, but it just goes to show how bad those melee matchups are. And
top lane, look at the difference that Jaeger got from the early levels. That first blood enables him to kill Luna. This is supposed to be a counter lane, but Jaeger just straight up outplaying Immersion and Kasane here. showing why players stick to their roles. He's like, my friend, I know you're moonlighting as a carry player, but you are not him. I'm sorry. I am just that guy in your offlane.
No, very, very solid play. And thankfully for Fart Studios, even though right now, again,
oh my
you don't
god,
wanna
Jenkins
play here,
stuck
and
around, he didn't leave, they baited him, the hook back onto Kasane, but the eye shots! Immersion saves the Luna's life and maybe sets up from some kills in the opposite direction as Newsom gets brought down from the rotation of Whitemon. Jenkins hiding and juking in the trees, trying to keep himself alive, but he has to know that his time is short, his days are numbered. He will take the twin gate through though, and will succeed in this endeavor. Gets down to the bottom lane, and they're not going to chase him. So Jenkins does manage to survive. Whitemon comes back into the lane as well. But overall, the outplays coming in from TSM. They get to keep Kasane alive and punish the side of Fart Studios.
No, you don't just have one great Tusk player in Whitemon. You've also got Immersion, who's just on point, just absolutely there where he needs to be. You know, it was a great hook from Jenkins. It was a beautiful attempt. And you do leave Tomato alone for a little bit, so Fear does start to pull away ever so slightly, but look at the confidence.
Fear's dead. Fear's dead. One more hit.
Oh,
he actually missed. Dude, Fear's got the J's on. They're gonna have to settle for the easier kill in the form of Jenkins. But Fear, with the new Jordan 2000s, he's all good. TP's out, gets back behind the tower, and it's Gucci. We'll have to ferry in some regen, but certainly worth it to stay alive in this lane.
No, definitely worth it. And then some more pressure put onto your Tidehunter, but Fear just TP'd to the tower as well, so he is far removed. He is not out of that lane. Look at Jenkins mid. He's trying some salvage here. Worst case scenario, he just hooks the cart if this lane becomes a toxic place. It's what he's looking to do right now. I don't even know if they hook Bryle. Yeah, and he's already kind of aware. Jenkins gives up the play now. He'll probably stick around for the 6-minute rune, but oh, this mid lane disparity, it's rough. It's tough to watch. It's just dazzle things, just what happens. Broken hero versus melee hero. It's never going to be easy. But this is going to be a clash here, and I annihilate. Oh, it hurts.
Nice little roll there. Eye shots will not connect properly. You know, by the way, speaking of this dazzle hero, every player, and I do literally mean every player I asked at TI about who's the most broken hero in the game, all routinely said dazzle. Every single one of them. So the fact that Bryle is not only able to get the broken hero, but get this much of a start on the broken hero, yeah, does not bode well for Fart Studios. But that being said though, ET, we have a similar situation as to in Game 1, where many of these lanes are not going that well, but nonetheless, TSM is not applying that much tower pressure just yet. So they still have some real estate to play around with, opportunities to try and bring themselves back into this game.
No, they definitely do. It's just a situation where TSM are content with the way that the game is currently. As Fear, good Fear, but at the same time, it's just too much magic damage.
So good.
Yeah.
Jenkins sadly does not connect with the hook, came a little bit too late. So Fear just gets killed off. The worst part about that kill though, ET, isn't that they took his life, is that the bear was on a resummon, so he's going to emerge all by his lonesome. In the top lane though, Jaeger doesn't have to worry about a bear, but certainly worried about his life as he's going to lose it to Kasane's Lucent Beam. TSM taking names all across the map, and now maybe starting to feel confident enough to take towers as well.
Yeah, before simply was just spawning with that 10-minute cart, and then immediately they started cooking. And that was a haste rune, so Bryle isn't even out of the mid lane for that long. He's right back to bullying. Poor old Annihilate, who's still looking for his 6 as he's forced to TP to Fountain. Because man, oh man, life is hard for the Earth Spirit. I mean, you can see it reflected in their net worths. They are not doing so hot in this game. Immersion, beautiful shards.
He should be in a little bit of danger here, but he does manage to dodge out a lot of this calling with the snowball. Immersion just too damn good at this hero. Whitemon coming in to render aid. Jaeger's too deep in here. They are able to kill him off, but it's not going to be for free, as they do at the very least. Oh wait, nope, they don't lose anybody. Never mind. They don't even have the damage to kill off the Tusk. Instead, they end up losing 3 heroes. Tide, Pudge, Muerta gone, and all of it in service of just feeding this Luna a little bit more farm. She continues to grow in net worth. Tier 1 tower is completely safe. And this game feeling super easy for the side of TSM.
And then Fear, just clockwork. Just going from lane to lane. everybody is extremely high level now. Immersion is the only one slightly sagging behind as he's making a play mid happen though.
Yeah.
Will they get the ward?
What makes this so sad? What makes it so sad is Jenkins was here for like 10 seconds, right? Trying to set up for a potential kill onto Bryle. He had Annihilate, who just hit level 6, by the way. 2 levels behind the Dazzle, waiting to try and drag out the Magnetize. But unfortunately, if the hook misses, they can't actually make that play. They don't have the silence just yet on Annihilate. So there's no way to prevent Bryle from just chain healing and keeping himself up.
No, he will just survive, and that is the problem. When you hook in these heroes when you're this far behind, the heroes might just decide that you're next on the chopping block. In Immersion, he's looking for a fight, but he's level 6 too.
Nah, he's doing something even better, bro. He is allowing Bryle to steal a lot of this camp, and Bryle almost got away with the entire thing. Annihilate comes in to defend it, but Annihilate maybe rolled in a bit too far. He's in danger right now, and they save Bryle with the snowball from Immersion, but Bryle doesn't have the shallow grave, so he will end up dead. Annihilate able to roll onto the high ground away from the supernova as Immersion got trapped on the high ground. Sadly though, there's too much burn damage, too much dot damage, and they are eventually able to bring down this Earth Spirit, but Whitemon, he went onto the high ground in pursuit of a kill onto Jaeger. Gets himself brought down instead by Nusham. Big deal of gold going towards the Muerta. But overall though, a huge amount of experience because they get 2 high value kills here around this mid lane.
No, that's exactly what they needed. Suddenly, Nusham's level 6, Jaeger's level 6. You've got some ultimates to play around. I'm sure there's a little bit to be desired for your Pudge still, but everybody else got what they needed. And of course, not being high enough level on the Dazzle, you never want those early points in Grave, but just wasn't able to keep himself alive in time for the egg.
How is this allowed? Kasane, you need to die, please.
Yeah.
Somebody kill Kasane. This should not be allowed. Like,
He's
honestly, illegal play just took place on this high ground, and they do not punish it in time. Bot Studio is implicitly admitting that crime is cool because they let Kasane get away with it.
Yep. Comes in, takes your 2 stack of Ancients, gets another 2 stack of the large camp, walks away. Nobody bats an eye. They try to get pressure on that tier 1 tower top and keeping that cart alive, but ends up feeling like every single play that Fart Studios is attempting is just not panning out. And there is another Magnetize, so Annihilate has damage to play around with. And the carts, at least around the 10-minute mark, have been dealt with.
Hey!
Oh,
we finally get the hook from Jenkins onto Kasane. Nusham hops the ultimate there. Even with Pierce the Veil, Jenkins nearly died in that situation. But if there's ever a time, ET, to hit your first hook of a game, it's on an overfarmed Luna, so you can keep pushing out the wave and change the game state. Nicely done from Jenkins. Sadly though, he's needed in the mid lane because Annihilate trying to get himself out of dodge, able to roll away at the last second, and now Jenkins hoping to punish Immersion for this. Annihilate though, taking more damage from the Sun Ray, he will end up dead. And now all of a sudden, Jenkins might be regretting where he's at right now. Was able to at least help get the kill onto Immersion with the help of Nusam. But he still ends up dead. A 2-for-1 affair in this mid lane. I guess on the bright side, they do protect the push on the tier 1 tower, but that is yet another death on your mid-Earth Spirit.
Yeah, no, the dot is miserable, and constantly Immersion has just been hovering around this mid lane. He's got the Tumbler's Toy as well, so all it takes is just sitting in those trees, getting the angle, and then you're done. And during all of this time, Kasane and Samato are just farming up a storm. Of course, Kasane got hooked and taken down top. Finally, with this Meteor Hammer done on Jaeger, he's going to be able to take away the Luna's tower. But Jaeger also wants to make a play. He wants to do something with this Ravage. He's got a good deal of damage, and they've got the Magnetize yet again here, but TSM are just doing another good job, just dodging out the play. The strong heroes are where they need to be, and Bryle just spearheading into the jungle with these 2 supports. They keep their real carry safe. They just play in front of Tomato, but now it's time to fight. They're looking for a brawl.
Jaeger does have the Ravage at the ready, so we'll see if he's going to be willing to let this one off. Surrounded by 4 heroes, he's just going to try and TP out. What the hell was that TP, my friend? No way out of that one. Well, some daring is still good. I really thought they might be willing to consider sending back Annihilate, and then I realized that Annihilate is only level 8 right now. If he's level 10, has either the Spell Amp talent, you know, maybe he considers going in there, but as things were, just too risky for our Earth Spirit, just has to watch his compatriot die.
Oh, and
not
it continues.
done. Oh no, Nusham Gonna get caught behind the tier 1 tower in the top lane. The fact that they have heroes like the Tusk that can fight past the calling is so scary for a support meta.
No, it's where it just doesn't matter. The Tusk just gets through, he pulls everybody along with him, and then you just end up getting eaten alive. Meanwhile, there's really no bounce back right now. It's daytime, it's hard to approach these fights. They're playing for the 14-minute rune, a rune that, again, so XP starved. Fart Studios would really like this, but when they walk up this high ground, they need to expect a huge fight, and Immersion won't let him up. He literally is waiting.
Dude, so smart. And they use the CK illusion to block off the hook, and now jumping back onto Jenkins. The Pudge already dead. Jaeger does have the Ravage. It connects onto all 5 heroes. Can they get anything out of this? So far, Kasene kept alive with the Shallow Grave. Annihilate really wants to chase him. The Ricochet shot misses, but eventually they do end up killing him off. Unfortunately though, Annihilate now surrounded by TSM heroes and will get demolished by Tomato. ET, what a sad realization. You commit all of this, you kill the Luna, and then you remember Luna's not even the actual carry. There's a CK that actually has the most net worth in the game.
It's just Tomato just farming. You're not able to stop him. They are trying to catch him on the bridge, though. This is going to be some angle, but it does not connect. So he is able to walk this one out. And it was a great kick. The only reason they get that Luna is because they get her stunned under the tier 2. The tier 2 ended up doing most of her HP there, but it just feels like it's becoming a null factor. You're still not able to mess with this Dazzle Phoenix Tusk that is still just walking around, occupying your entire map, playing in front of these cores. It's why Kasane and Tomato can just farm. And if Kasane wants to cycle out, just wants to farm on his side of the map, farm all the Ancients, well, he sure can. Tomato is completely alone top right now, but they're so terrified of this trio on TSM that they have to dodge out that side of the map completely. And then Tomato puts the illusions on the wave, and then everyone farms. And then you don't get back in the game.
You know what's going to be really funny to see? So, on paper, Fart Studios have Earth Spirit, Pudge, and to some extent Tidehunter to help them out against these illusions, right? But there's going to be, let's count them, 3 from Brawl, another 3 from this Luna when the Manta's out. And the CK is going to have a lot more, but the CK is about to die though, and there's nobody nearby to help him out. Dazzle's not here, he doesn't have an Aegis, so that's just a heads up clean kill. 1,000+ gold going the way of Jaeger here. A mega kill streak ended, but crucially some momentum being halted. Fart Studios at least get something on the map.
Yeah. And they outmaneuvered that trio. They were able to get around him, and Tomato just gets a little bit greedy, thinks he's safe, has the illusion farming that wave, but they cut past it, and the creep wave doesn't get pushed out fast enough for him to feel those warning signals. It's something. It's expensive. It's, you know, magnetized on cooldown yet again, but I annihilate.
Magnetizes on cooldown, but his life might also be on cooldown right now. He's about to get jumped by TSM. They block the angle of the rolling boulder. Very nicely done by a white man with the Icarus dive. And that is going to lead to the death of the Earth Spirit as well as the tier 2 tower. I annihilate, just getting annihilated all across this map.
And that's your glyph used, so whenever TSM wants to, they just recommit. And Fear, who's been quietly farming, just gets popped. And he's got nothing to show for himself right now. I think he's got a Midas on his bear,
he does have a Midas. And he's building a second one. He just got the second Midas.
I think he just got the second Midas, so that might be the name of the game now. I know Ionai is also turning around for a Midas, and it's, I guess, a future to play for, but it's not looking very bright.
Well, Midas, let's go. We saw it here, there were several games that have like 6 or 7 Midases. How many does TSM have? TSM have 1 on the Phoenix, and that's it. Everybody else is able to just farm heroes on the map well enough that they don't need the item. So we only have 4 in this game. It's not so bad. Yeah. Well, if Annihilate gets there. Right now it's only 3. I'm not sure he'll get there in this game. If I'm honest, things are not looking very positive for Earth Spirit.
No, and it's just very different. You know, this isn't the lone druid we're seeing. This isn't Ace. This isn't him running around with Diffusal Blade, Echo Saber, causing chaos on the map. And Jaeger, in the farthest corner of the map, he can't get away.
Honestly, though, that play is creating space. I don't mind that death. That death is fine. He has to be somewhere. I will mind these deaths in the mid lane though, because Nusham, no reason to die there to Tomato. Thankfully, Jenkins does bail him out. Bottom lane though, I Annihilate will not be so lucky as he gets caught. Oh no, I was fine with the death top because it made space for I Annihilate and Fear to farm bottom, but not if I Annihilate dies. He's still being gate kept away from his Midas.
Oh, and then they just get Nusham in transit. Just this vision, this dominant control all over the Radiant jungle. All of the gateways are being watched. Everything, there is vision here from TSM to make sure that you aren't getting out on these lanes. Typically, you need lane wards to actually see these heroes go, but they've got a mix of both. They've got the jungle completely warded. They've got the lanes completely locked down. TSM are just not giving any space to Fart Studios. They would love to escape to these corners of the map and be these hard-to-kill heroes, but every single time they do, Immersion finds them. This, though, Immersion,
they're gonna try middle. There's a Ravage that comes out, but they've already lost the Pudge, and they keep the Shallow Grave out onto the Tusk, so he doesn't even die here. Immersion, though, will be brought down, but if I'm Immersion, I take down a Pudge on the way out, and I force them to commit a Ravage? Hell yeah, let me die like that every single time, please.
Yeah, and now once Roche switches over towards bottom, I can only imagine the TSM just look for it, knowing that without those teamfight ultis, you really can't put up a fight from Fart Studios. They probably should just take the farm instead, because Immersion's just going to respawn and go to that tier 1 tower bottom, and then that's the play. That's just what you do. They do not want to lose Fear, though, but again, it's TSM vision. They see him walking over. That's something that Fart Studios have just never been able to reclaim. Fear is finally able to TP out. Yeah, Daytime saving him there. The creep wave gets to spot out the CK, but you're cut off now. And now that you know that the Lone Druid's TP is on cooldown, you absolutely know that he can't get towards that bottom right corner of the map. So TSM have many good options right now.
They literally see everything. Even here on this Radiant high ground, close to the secret shop, they have perfect vision on these heroes' movements. Finally, Jenkins will realize that it's been a bit interesting how preternatural their movements have seen. Unfortunately for him, the D-ward came too late because TSM already coming in to reclaim their territory. Jenkins, the D-warder himself, will pay for his actions with his life. But what a god, he actually dropped the ward before he died? I don't think they saw this. If he manages to get away with this, that's actually probably the best play he's able to pull off given the current game state.
Given the circumstance, indeed. But look at this. Your Tormentor, it's gonna get stolen. Your Wisdom Rune, it's gonna get stolen. Oh, God. They're gonna start making that march now towards that bottom right corner of the map. As soon as they want to fix out their lanes, Motto ults, starts cutting. It's just textbook. They're just not giving you any chance here. At least Annihilate can escape from that situation. A situation that Whiteman's actually preparing for as well, because he's just going for the Hex immediately. But as soon as they want to, they can just twin gate towards bottom. I think Roche is finally going to be the call here from TSM, because, well, there you go. It's easy. I think the couriers just flew out, so that's another Tormentor taken down by Bryle, so, God, TSM just take no prisoners.
BKB being queued up right now by the CK. Luna has a butterfly coming up. I actually can't believe they're getting away with this, honestly. Like, CK Luna, man. I hope this does not catch on. This seems, in a losing game, pretty cancerous to deal with. And now to boot, you have to add an Aegis on top of it. Is there any timing that they're waiting for on the side of Fart Studios that can meaningfully make an impact in this game anymore?
Maybe another Midas? It's really tough to say. Because Fear just has not been able to build himself up. I mean, his bear doesn't even have boots still. He doesn't have boots. He's not really able to have that impact on this hero. It feels like they're floundering a little bit here. I think with the Tide Blink, perhaps, you can see a little bit more courage coming out from their lineup, and you get that moment that I was describing in the draft where you can solve the pick. You can find the hero. And actually, top lane, Tomato, if anybody else can get here, it's just him. He's alone. There's no TP. He has no friends. But his friends are killing your tier 3 bottom, and they're killing Annihilate.
Friends are looking for Annihilate, but they might actually end up losing Kasane for their efforts here. That's an Aegis gone. They take away potentially Whitemon's life. The Grave will save him, so they still have an egg to pop if needed. Annihilate throws out the Magnetize, does kill the Phoenix, and the Earth Spirit is alive for a second longer. Eventually does die, but he's done his job. They do end up losing the Tidehunter, but he does have buyback. So does Annihilate if needed. Tier 3 tower Gonna start falling lower and lower. This is a Luna, so once the tier 3 is gone, the entire lane of Rax is threatened. And it looks like Far Studios are willing to give up the ghost. They, maybe not. They pop the cliff. They're coming out. They have the Ravage at the ready. There's gonna be the fear out onto this Dazzle, but they don't get the combination with Jenkins. If Jenkins found the hook there, Brow would be dead right now, but they do not. Brow gets to stay alive. And emerging from your base against the Dazzle, that's a difficult proposition. Immersion as well, jumping back onto them. Oh. They do finally find the hook with the fear. Ravage comes out, but it only connects yet again onto Immersion. This time, though, the Tusk will die, taking only Nusim's Muerta with him. A 1-for-1 trade. I Annihilate coming back. They get the drag back onto Luna. They will be able to find her with the Dismember. The damage from I Annihilate enables them to get the kill. But here's Tomato with the BKB just cleaning house. Took down Jenkins, deletes I Annihilate. Now potentially TSM could continue their push. Only 2 heroes here in the meantime, but it's 2 of the strongest heroes on the map. Tomato jumping in onto Jaeger, unable to get him properly though. But now it looks like TSM might settle for the range racks as Brawl is starting to fall low on the HP. Disjointing the Rod of Atos on the way out to secure the safe escape. As they destroy the illusions, they keep the racks safe at least for now. But the real reason they retreat is the return of Jenkins. This punch has been underwhelming this game, but in terms of high ground defense, Jenkins proving why this hero was picked up for him.
No, it's the only thing he can play for is just getting these heroes so far out of position. If the Ravage came just a second earlier, they get Bryle. They get him in the absolute worst spot. The way he was able to escape there feels criminal, but he was able to just walk that one out. But the silences as well, coming from Fart Studios, from Nushim and I Annihilate, they are getting these kills. They're able to disjoint Bryle from the rest of the lineup. They aren't able to get on top of him, but they're at least able to delay that shallow grave to give them a chance for something. This, though, is Fear 100% dead.
Fear Darkness.
Oh?
Will he be sent to the darkness? It looks like it. He gets tossed into the air by Immersion, cancelling the TP. I Annihilate came in to try and save him, but he dies before the Supernova even pops. The 2 big cores down for the count. Tier 2 tower very shortly to follow. And TSM, even without having an Aegis, even without having all their ultimates at the ready, it feels like they're probably strong enough to just aggress onto the high ground tier ET and claim a lane of racks.
Yeah, and without Glyph, they really can't do much, and that's why they're going further, because they know there's no Ravage. Tomato is going to take a lot of damage, but at the same time, he's got BKB, he's healed.
Fine. Well, now the questions start being asked. How long before we call it? What is there anything? If not for this tier 2 tower in the mid lane, we might actually be staring at a lane of 4 megas already. Well, they didn't take bottom just yet, but doesn't feel like it's going to take them that much longer to accomplish.
No, they're closing off the map. It's a dieback on Nushim if they really wanted to push it. Immersion is still very aggressively positioned, even though he's got no team on him right now. Look, almost nabbed him, but immediately, TSM go back to basics. They cut the top lane, they cut the mid wave, they maybe farm another set of Ancients, and then this game is feeling like it's going to be wrapped up before long. There's just no items. There's just not very much coming out for Fart Studios, and especially after all their buybacks, any itemization has just been halted. We're probably not going to get to see this Heart on the Earth Spirit. Sadly, we aren't going to get that Blink Dagger on Jaeger in time. So it literally is just hook into Ravage, into hopefully Immersion and Bryle can't save whoever is hook ravaged, which is something they've been able to accomplish pretty much every single time. Just a tough bill right now for Fart Studios.
Given the nature of the game and how things have been going, do you think Jaeger could have maybe not finished the full pipe and then come in for the Blink Dagger sooner?
I think so. I think it was decision made thinking that this trio of Dazzle, Phoenix, Tusk is just running amok and killing my team over and over, so we need something as... Well, there goes the Earth Spirit.
Poor I Annihilate has now reached 10 deaths. Feels pretty bad. Not a good day at the office for him here.
No, incredibly tough game. And now, still not having Glyph for another 25 seconds. TSM were timing that out. They would know if you get this tier 3 down, then Kasane can just bust open the rest of the racks. And Fart Studios is in a difficult position. Do you go early and let them get onto the high ground successfully, where you don't have an Earth Spirit still? Or do you try to take the fight post that? And this is not how you want this to go.
Worst of all possible worlds. Feared back. The Hex is out. Supernova connects onto 3. Jaeger, very close to falling. Nushim is going to take the tip first, though. Doesn't have buyback, but potentially has still saved the lives of both Jenkins as well as Jaeger. He'll be happy to just lose one set of racks, but TSM not content with this. They want a whole lot. They're coming to end the game. Jaeger still very far from Blink Dagger. Even if he does have Ravage at the ready, TSM know that if they position correctly, they don't have anything to fear here. BKB popped by Tomato as he eviscerates Jenkins. Now going in towards Fear, who's trying to get into the true form, but it will not matter. Both of them dead without buyback. That'll include the Tide Hunter as well. And as they start to drop like flies on the side of Fart Studios, TSM can smell the winds of victory. All that's left is the magical golden letters as Annihilate rolls in, only to get rolled the hell out. GG is called. Jaeger is thrown in the towel. TSM have proven that they are the dominant ones, winning 2-0 in one of our first qualifier games here on the route to Kuala Lumpur. TSM, man, damn. Definitely looking like the team we expected to see coming in.